Well, hello.
Hi.
How you doing?
Yeah, not bad. Not bad at all.
Oh, good. Good to hear. Lockdown treating you okay?
Yeah, it's not bad. I got a bit of a weird one. I chronically bite my nails. I don't know if you can see how bad my nails are. They're terrible. And the other day, I must have bit them and just left a little shard of nail. And I've scratched my. I don't know if it's that, but I've scratched myself up pretty badly. And as you can see, so on my face, sorry, I've managed to quite badly scratch myself.
Oh
and that's
God.
all from just being sat here, watching very long work meetings and just being bite. So yeah, that's my sort of lockdown,
outlet.
injury. Yeah, but so I'm distracting myself. I've started playing. So I started playing a lot more video games. So I've just finished Half-Life Opposing Force, and Half-Life Blue Shift, and I've just started Half-Life 2, and it is, oh my God. So good. It was a game when, obviously it's old as shit now, but when it first came out, I didn't have a computer that was good enough for it, and I couldn't afford it because I was poor as fuck. And then I bought it for $2, and playing it on my laptop. I bought a bundle pack, so it's all the Half-Lives, and I'm just working my way through them, and started playing Portal. So they're all kind of distracting games to keep my nails from being bitten.
Nice.
How are you?
Nice. Yeah, not bad. I got a haircut, obviously. I cut my own hair. Yeah, cut my own hair, cut the isolation beard down a bit. But yeah, just can't not do something stupid with it. So I've got a mullet now. Don't know. Could you see that?
Yeah, can't unsee it.
Yeah. I just need to fiddle. I'm a chronic fiddler. Oh, that sounds terrible. Oh God, fuck. Okay, let's just talk. Yeah, let's just talk about the thing. All right, Sean, talk us in quickly.
Yep. So obviously, come follow us on Facebook or subscribe on YouTube. Just search for Blue Bantha Milk Co. and come find us.
Yeah, and give us a tweet. That's me.
That's him. So Facebook is me, Twitter is him. That's it.
We've got a little bit of news quickly before we jump in as well. So
yes, great.
Thanks to everyone that helped with this. We put the call out and said, hey, everyone, just go and watch our stuff. And they did. And it means now we are monetized on YouTube. I think we've been monetized for a couple of days now.
Yep, we've made cents.
Yeah, 29 or 28?
In terms of 41 cents we've made last time I checked.
41 cents. Fucking excellent. So yeah, congrats to us for that. And a quick question to everyone that's following. So there's obviously Star Wars Celebration has been cancelled. We all know that. That's all rescheduled. So a few fans have put together something else in its place, and we're not sure what we should do or whether we should do a panel or anything like that. So if you head over to @ForceFest Saga, there's a little bit of information about this virtual celebration that's going on. Should we do it? Basically, should we put in a submission? We've got a couple more days before the deadline. We're not sure at this point in time what we should submit. So yeah, if you've got any ideas, hit us up on Twitter. Sorry, I'll put that back up on screen. Hit us up, and tell us what you think we should do a panel on. If we should, we're all ears. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So talking about Star Wars spin-offs today, and obviously the big news is that the Bad Batch is getting its own show. So we have some mixed thoughts and feelings, I guess. And Sean, what was your thought when the news popped up?
I think I talked about this when we were talking to Pink Milk Co.
Yep.
And this idea. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Hobbit.
Thanks, Andy.
It's very much like the Bad Batch is such a 90s version of what's cool. It is very much like the example I used was when Spawn first came out, and every comic had to have their so suddenly Spider-Man had like Venom, and Venom was like the rock and roll Spider-Man. He was bad and he was cool. Muscles and that. And then like Batman gets his back broken, he's replaced with Azrael, and Azrael was the same thing. And that was actually more of a spoof. That was more the writer saying like, oh, is this what you want? Okay, here, have it. Have too much of it. See what you think about that. And everyone shit themselves like, oh no, this is not good. We actually want Batman back. And that's what this feels like. It's very much like a teenage boys version of cool. It's like, okay, yeah, the oh wow.
Oh, thanks, girls. Thank you.
It's crazy. It's I'm glad I read all those Spawn comics now to do all this research. Yeah, it's like a 13-year-old boy's idea of cool. It's like, oh, you've got the clones, but what if you had like a big clone? You only had one eye, and there was like a sniper clone, and he spoke like a Bond villain and all this. And it's very, I don't know. I don't know. I'm very ambivalent. Is ambivalent the word? I'm just sort of like, I want more Star Wars.
Yeah.
I like the idea of this being set post Order 66. I've said this to you a million times. That period between Revenge of the Sith and New Hope, that's like my favorite part of the timeline. Like anything that falls in there, I usually really like it because I like that emerging empire, emerging rebellion thing and how those two things kind of interweave. So if it's set there, cool. What about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I was a little bit ambivalent to it as well. If anyone was following on Twitter, you could probably tell that straight away. But I said it a while back. Like the Bad Batch didn't really stick out as something that I wanted to necessarily watch when Clone Wars Season 7 was coming out. Certainly, I haven't had any sort of desire to go back and rewatch it. I will watch this. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm going to watch the shit out of it. And I think if it's Filoni, if it's the team of people that did the Clone Wars, they're really good at hiding things sometimes in plain sight. And so I've got some good thoughts about, or some hopes for that it doesn't just end up being what we saw, over and over and over again. Like that would just bore me. But if they can use it as kind of like a vehicle, which I'm sure they will, to go off into other places in the universe and really add some depth to that time period, and maybe introduce some other characters, maybe do some cool tie-ins like that. I'm really interested in that side of things. I want tied in television and cinematic universes. It's kind of what I've been itching for.
I mean, it's interesting because when this was first announced, I think I did send you I sent you a voice message to say, when we were discussing doing the stream and I was mentioning backdoor pilots, and that's sort of like I don't know whether to say that like Bad Batch is a spin-off or if it is like this backdoor pilot thing, and if that's a term that people aren't familiar with. They don't really do it anymore, but it used to be like when you'd watch sitcoms in like the 70s and 80s, it would be like one of the kids. Oh, thank you, Marianne.
Oh, thank you, Marianne. Thank you.
One of the kids in like Family Ties or something would get like a summer job at a newspaper. And then you'd get like 2 episodes where they'd work at a newspaper with a bunch of wacky characters. And if that 2-parter had good ratings, then they would make another TV show about that thing.
Yeah.
But that would be designed, it'd be like, okay, we're going to just introduce these characters, and if it plays off, we'll give them a show. And that's where like Mork and Mindy came from and shit like that. Like Mork was actually a character in Happy Days.
Yes.
But this kind of thing, and that's what this felt like. It felt like Filoni's like, okay, well, we're going to introduce the Bad Batch, and if people watch that and get really excited and are baying for more, we'll give them more. But without that bit, it was just sort of like, we're going to introduce them, and we're just going to give them a show. Because really, if they'd sort of done that as a natural television thing, I don't think the Bad Batch would have. It didn't blow up the way that I think maybe they expected it to, or maybe they wanted it to.
Yeah.
Like I don't think people came away from it being like. I mean, that was the thing with that final season. The first 8 episodes were quite, I want to say, tiring. Like I was just sort of like come on. And then obviously the last 4 were a masterpiece. And it's like, oh, okay, so it all makes sense. But then now you're sort of like, okay, so the 4 episodes with the Martez sisters were just to sort of bring Ahsoka back and sort of show where she is in the galaxy. And the first 4 were just as a pilot for the Bad Batch, I guess.
Yeah.
So it's weird. Like, okay, what's the rewatch value on that? But then I guess there is rewatch value in the sense of like, you need, if the new show is going to focus on Echo and his joining the Bad Batch, then yeah, cool. Give me that.
Yeah.
And then those 4 episodes, like, okay, well, we need to know where it's like an Echo origin story. So that's cool.
Yeah. Oh, actually, it makes me think we've got a little clip of Echo we can bring up here.
Oh yeah, that's all.
Yeah. I mean, that was probably the one big surprise and thing that I liked about the Bad Batch series is like, okay, well, they brought Echo back. I didn't like how they brought Echo back and how kind of I guess how much of a missed opportunity for a surprise there was. It's like,
they did sort of foreshadow it too much.
Yeah, well, let's just tell you what the surprise is in the first 5 minutes of the show, and then it happens, and you're like, you told me it was going to happen. So yeah, I mean that was cool. As a backdoor pilot, yeah, cool. Like that could be really interesting. There's a question here from Jordan Davis, which I think there's a couple of ways that I want to handle this, because obviously it's a different series. So the Obi-Wan show, there's that rumor that Anakin Skywalker is going to turn up again in it, and I think that could be really cool. It's an example of there being desire for a particular character or to see a character again, I think, and that's why these rumors pop up. Because let's be frank here, like most Star Wars rumors are just made up by some fan. most. Yeah. So if these rumors get a bit of traction, it usually means people want to see them. So is there that much of a desire for the Bad Batch to be its own show? Why not Ahsoka? Does it mean that there's other plans for Ahsoka and that's why there isn't the Ahsoka show?
Yeah, but I mean, I think that's, I don't know. It's a tough one because, like I say, it's not like they, well, thank you.
Thank you, God. Michael.
This is brilliant.
This is so fucking weird. We've never had this. We've never had super chats or super stickers before. It's like, what is this? Oh my God.
I've sort of lost my thread. Oh yeah, with it, because I mean, I was definitely one of the people trying to get the ball rolling on getting Jar Jar Binks in Rise of Skywalker. I was like, when I was still on Twitter, I was hammering that. And I think the same thing. People wanted Anakin to come back in Rise of Skywalker, and he sort of did.
I did.
And I think, it's that same sort of thing of like, oh, wouldn't it be cool? And I mean, the problem, I'm jumping a little bit ahead here to talk about the Obi-Wan thing, but like, the problem is, if you bring back Anakin in, because I guess I'm sort of jumping ahead again in my own brain, of like, is Anakin going to be like, not a Force ghost, but like the same way that Han Solo appears to Ben Solo in Rise of Skywalker as like a physical memory, a ghost, ghost, yeah, but not a Force ghost, just a ghost. If that's the case, and he sort of appears, and those two characters can sort of interact and have a conversation, it's like, well, yeah, but if this is Obi-Wan sort of making his peace with Anakin? How does that tie into what happens in A New Hope? Like, and how does that tie into what happens with Obi-Wan in the original trilogy? Because he has given up on him or accepted that he's dead, and he is quite happy for Luke to go after him. So he has sort of given, or maybe that's the thing, he's making peace with Anakin being dead and Darth Vader being, I don't know. It's an interesting one. Spitballing, is it going to be that, like, Hayden Christensen will play Darth Vader, and it will be, we'll get Darth Vader doing shit as well, and sometimes we'll see him without the mask, and it'll be Hayden Christensen all fucked up.
Yeah, could be.
But then, I don't know. I don't know. it's a nice rumor, but then when you actually start trying to put it in terms of a narrative, it sort of falls apart unless it's flashbacks, in which case,
flashbacks could work.
If they do flashbacks, I hope they kind of take the Vince Gilligan approach in terms of like, Better Call Saul and stuff like that, where it's just like, yeah, the actors got older, but the characters are younger. Work it out. It doesn't matter if Mike looks older now than he does in the future. You understand it's not real. That like El Camino, the Breaking Bad sequel, which is supposed to take place immediately after Breaking Bad. Everyone looks older, and even like flashbacks, the characters look old, and you're like, yeah, I know that because actors age. People age in a linear way. But is the Obi-Wan thing going to be like flashbacks and they all get de-aged and stuff like that? Or I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It sounds good on paper.
Well, Disney's got the good de-aging. Like,
Oh yeah, I mean they'll have
they could de-age the shit out of it. I thought maybe if Hayden was going to be back, like something The Rise of Skywalker did really well is introduce the idea of people talking to their memories and whatnot. So that could be cool. Like I would love to see Obi-Wan talking to Anakin, and like in trying to deal with his own grief or something like that. That could be really cool, really effective as well.
See, the thing is, it would actually make more sense for Liam Neeson to come back than Anakin than
yeah,
because there is from a certain point of view, there's a story by whoever it was who wrote Master and Apprentice. Who wrote Master and Apprentice?
Tip of my tongue. Cordia Gray. Cordia
Gray, yeah. He writes a short story, and it takes place when Luke's just found all the dead Jawas, and he goes back to the homestead. And while he's going back to the homestead, Obi-Wan has a conversation with Qui-Gon.
Yep.
And it's really good. It's actually fantastic. And so that would make more sense to have this idea that Liam Neeson would appear as Qui-Gon to sort of guide Obi-Wan. That makes more sense, and that's easier to, fit into the narrative.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. Molly, you didn't miss much. We were just talking shit. Don't worry about
it. If you go away and come back in like an hour, same.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting. Sorry, there was a question I brought up on screen, but we weren't ready to talk about it. Back to the Bad Batch. So could they intersect? Like, could it be that the Bad Batch start intersecting with some of the other content? Because it is a similar time period. It's true. It's not that far off, is it? Oh, hold on, wait, no. Is it post?
Yeah, no. This is post 66, and that's post Jedi.
Post 66, post Jedi. So, like, what's the time? How far past 66 is? Is it like just after, or is it just before A New Hope? Do we know?
I think it just says post Order 66.
Yeah. Okay. So we don't know, and we don't. Yeah. And will the Bad Batch have that same aging problem that most clones have? Like, will they just sort of conk out and get too old, or are they special in some way? Will they just live normal lifespans? We don't know, I guess.
Do we even know if they have the chip and they would have killed Jedi? Or
yeah, we don't. I don't know. Does anyone know? If you do, tell us, please.
Would Echo have a chip? I guess Echo's chip would probably be malfunctioned of some degree.
Yeah, I would think so.
Days after 66, what Farmboy says.
Yeah, all remaining systems as well. Yeah, so it would be how they could react to their inhibitor chips as well. That could be good.
Going back on the Echo thing, I think Echo's a fantastic character to have as like the audience surrogate, like learning about everything. And also as well to have a character who, obviously, as you can see from that picture there, he has gone through physical trauma, mental trauma, spiritual trauma. He's been used by the bad guys. He thought he was a good guy, but actually the clones are bad guys, but not really.
Yeah.
So and kind of him as a character who, like you say, just someone who's got definitely would have PTSD. I think that's a great character, and it also helps with the sort of Star Wars representation as well, because this is a character with probably some mental illness of some kind or some sort of trauma. And that's always good. It's always good to see those kind of characters there to show the healing process, to show that people can come back from these traumas and how they do that. I think that would be very interesting to see. And Filoni's the kind of person who can, he'll stare into the abyss.
He can lean into it. Yeah,
that thing. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I would like to see a bit of that. I think maybe you're talking me around to the idea of the show a little bit.
I think Echo's the key, though. If it was just like Bad Batch, if the scene that's on the screen now, if that scene hadn't happened and it was just the Bad Batch, I wouldn't have that much interest in it. But when you sort of think of it in terms of like, I don't know, the Three Musketeers, where it's like the Musketeers are there and they've got their history, and then D'Artagnan comes in and it creates this new dynamic. And you've got this character who's learning about their thing and sort of inspires them to do good things. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's an interesting narrative.
That's a really good point. It's a really good point. Echo does sort of add the heart to it, doesn't he? Because otherwise, it's kind of like watching the A-Team.
Yes. And Hobbit did say that it was like A-Team in space or something like that. And that was, I think that was my first thought as well, this idea of like, soldiers of freedom, and they'd be on the run from the Empire and helping people, and that could be cool. But it needs that extra little thing, and I think that's what Echo will bring to it. Yeah, absolutely. And it's my cat. He's upset. Oh wow, he's loud today too. If it was a show without Echo, I think where it would probably run the risk of really losing me is and you see it in the Clone Wars, like before Echo becomes really a part of it. The dude on the right, the big strong, the Hulk one, I really dislike that character, but they used him so prominently in the Clone Wars series. There's something about that buffoon kind of style character that's the big dumb idiot that I just don't ever really vibe with in media, whether it's movies, TV shows. It's so rare. I think the one recent example that I do like it was actually in what's the name of that show? Something City. It's a comedy show. Broad City?
Crap. No. Broad City. Yes, Broad City. Yeah, Broad City. The housemate.
Oh, Bevers.
Yeah, Bevers. Like at the start of that show, Bevers. I was just like, but then by the end of it, I just loved Bevers.
Yeah, absolutely, really well done. Yeah. Well, that character of like the big, tough dude works well when you sort of subvert that. Like if like again, to go back to comic books, I'm a massive I love Fantastic Four. Like John, if you ever in the chat or yourself, if you ever feel like you want to suddenly get into comic books, read Jonathan Hickman's Fantastic Four run. It is incredible. And the thing in that is you've got the Thing, obviously, who is like a big dude made out of rocks, but he's got a heart of gold, and he's smart, and he loves his family and all that. And he's never treated as like just a big hulking buffoon. He's a character in his own right, and he's great, and you love him. And it can be done rather than having like the Hodor character where he's just like, what is his character? What is his personality? Big. He's a big dude. That's it. That's his whole deal. And that's and I think the thing is there was too much of that in the Bad Batch where each character, each character has their own little thing, like skill or personality linked to their skill, and it's sort of like, and we do have a clip for this which I'll introduce in a minute, but it is sort of like G.I. Joe in that sense of just like you assign just one skill to a character, and then each character would be they were very quippy and very annoying. Here we go. This is what I was thinking of when I was thinking of the Bad Batch. This was a terrible cartoon. But then, I was mad for G.I. Joe when I was a kid, and it was that thing of like, okay, you had a character and his name was like Crosshair, and he was the sniper, and you had a character whose name was Knives, and he stabbed people, and that kind of thing.
Oh my God!
Always,
yeah,
and that was it. You kind of and it, it's still like that. And I don't know, that was just something that kind of rubbed me up the wrong way when I was watching the Bad Batch, where it was just like, for one, I didn't like the fact how rude they were to the clones. I was like, hey, dude, come on, have a bit of respect. But also they were just so quippy and just so like, again, I keep going back to that 13-year-old boy's idea of cool, like, or something stupid, where you're just like, oh yeah, this is cool. Like, even I would even go as far to say like elements of like the first Matrix movie, where it's just like the black coats and the glasses and all that. We're like, oh yeah, that's what cool is. Like, is it?
Seeing that look now really, that Matrix cool look. I think the only time you ever see that Matrix cool look, it's always at someone's costume party, and the people dressed as Neo and Trinity, they always end up being the swingers at the party, like the one swinger couple, and they're all just like, so what are you doing? Oh, you want to come? Yeah, hey, have you tried the punch?
Oh, put your keys in this bowl. It's that. But it's like it's like a big black coat and all black and the sunglasses, but then like a My Little Pony t-shirt. Like, it's just like some real fucking creeps out there dressed like Neo, which is amazing because Keanu Reeves is like the least creepy dude. He's like the most wholesome, cool guy.
Yeah.
But people take the wrong lessons from things. I'm literally having this whole thing at the moment because I saw Ricky Gervais posted that you couldn't make The Office these days because everything is too politically correct.
Oh, fuck off. No. You totally could.
He totally could. But the problem is he believes his own hype so much, and the people who are agreeing with him believe it because they think that David Brent was the hero in The Office and not the joke.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, he's come...
Yeah,
he's
not
gone
the lesson to learn from.
That's it. So he's even beginning to believe his own bullshit. And it's like, no, it's totally fine because you have to just put the character who is quite politically correct, the main dude, is not necessarily the villain, he's just the buffoon. But that's. So sorry, just a little bit off topic. That was just annoying me because Ricky Gervais is a dick. Anywho.
Yeah, you really hate him, don't you?
I hate him so much. I have a subscription to The Big Issue, and when it arrived and it had him on the cover, I just ripped the cover off and put it in the bin. It's like, nope, don't need to ever see that. And I used to be quite a big fan of him. And then he just like, I had the same experience with him as I've now had with Kanye West, where I was like a massive fan of them and I would defend them to people and be like, no. Ricky Gervais, it's just a character he's doing. It's just like his thing. And then it's like, oh, no, that's actually him. He's become that thing that he thought.
Yeah, he's gone full circle.
And the same with like Kanye. I was like, no, he makes really good albums and it's really good. And then the albums got crap and his political opinions went crap. And I was like, oh, God damn it. Yeah.
Oh God. To get back on the you mentioned, like a character called Knives and he stabs people and all that sort of stuff. I'm like, that is the kind of on the nose stuff about the characters like the Bad Batch that really just there's no appeal to me there.
I'm just actually thinking, what are the names of the characters in the Bad Batch?
In the Bad Batch, isn't it?
They are that, aren't they? They are the
Goose, Rocks, Radar, BJ Baracus.
Okay, let me find. I'm on the thing. Hunter, Wrecker, Crosshair, and Tech.
Yeah. So Tech was good at tech. Hunter could track.
Wrecker
I know it's
was the big dude.
God. Listen to us though, like it's aimed at kids, so obviously it's going to be really, really overt. But even when I was a kid, I didn't like that sort of stuff. I didn't really get into G.I. Joe.
Oh no, I was not just G.I. Joe.
It wasn't something that I liked. And I remember that. Oh, you wouldn't know this. There was like G.I. Joe Australia. Comic books. I think I got one of them, and it was like, what is this crap? But there was these like there was this other series that was kind of like G.I. Joe underwater. They were like in green sort of suits and they had like propellers and all this sort of stuff. I really liked that
one when it was the dudes and they would like
they all had mustaches. Like yes.
And they'd be like and there was like a land one, an air one, and a water one.
That's the one. Yeah, and I really like the
I
water
had
one.
the toys of that. You could build like you could turn them into submarines and shit.
Yeah, and their suits had like little like holes to plug.
The holes. Yeah, and you can clip it all in. Yeah,
clip things in. Yeah.
I was nuts for that, and I was nuts for Mask. When you kind of and the cars would turn into things. Yeah, I was nuts for that.
Yep, me too.
Now you look back, you're like, these are just toy commercials.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Oh my god. I mean, maybe it's why. Maybe because I was really into Lego, so like, I mean, everyone was really into Lego, but all of those boy shows that had things that built into other things, they were the ones I really liked. So shit that would transform or expand or anything like that.
Yeah.
Is Girls with Sabers going? Yep. See ya.
Bye.
See ya. Bye.
See you again soon. I read an interesting thing about Lego, actually. Lego and Star Wars. Lego was actually facing not necessarily bankruptcy, but it was starting to go on the wane. Yeah. And they got the Star Wars license. And when they started making Star Wars toys, that put it back on the map. Obviously, now it's huge again. Lego. Yeah. Because they've got the Marvel license, the DC license, Jurassic World. The whole thing.
Got everything.
That's it. So yeah, that was Star Wars in like 1999, I think. And I remember that. Like I had like the land speeder and shit like that. And obviously, people we know like still have shitloads of Star Wars Lego. I have one piece. I have Luke Skywalker's medal ceremonial man on my bookshelf because that's all I want.
I never got any. I never got any Star Wars Lego. I'm kind of glad, actually, because the people we know that are into it are so fucking obsessively into it. And I get why. Like, I mean, they're really advanced things to build. Like, they're really, really, most of them are very intricate. And like, you'd get such a buzz when you finally finish that thing. But yeah, I am glad I didn't.
I fall into the role of like, geeky uncle with all my nieces and nephews and all that. So whenever they get Lego and it's like this vast thing, my brother's like, this looks like an Uncle Sean job. So it's just me and I'm just putting it all together because he's like, stop that. I'm not putting that together. That looks like a nightmare. You can do it. So I'm like, okay. And I've got my nephews there just like reading the instructions to me. And I'm like, okay.
Steve, you were one of the people. Steve's one of the people I was thinking of when we're talking about people that have got so much Lego.
Crazy man. Obviously our friend Andy sent us a photo of his like Star Wars collection recently, and he's got wild amounts.
Out on display as well.
Incredible.
Yeah.
So
look, positive things. Something positive to say about this Bad Batch spin-off, because I don't want to just be like,
I think Echo is going to be cool, and also like going by the clip we've got here, it looks like it's going to be big and actiony, which is going to be cool. Which would be nice after because I thought that was sort of a disappointing thing with Resistance. Resistance went more for like slapsticky comedy and stuff like that, where Clone Wars is more like a war film, a war show, and I think that's what we're going to see with this maybe, because they are sort of 18 in space, bit of G.I. Joe. I could live with that.
Yeah. And I guess one of the things that I did really, really love about, particularly the first couple of episodes in that arc, aside from the last 4 episodes of season 7, they were some of the best looking episodes in the Clone Wars, I thought. Like, just in terms of the camera movements and all that sort of stuff. Oh my God, it looked good. The action was really dynamic.
But that picture there, like even the picture we just got on the screen, is just is a very cool shot. Like from the ground, you can see the sun set in the background and all that. You are like, the show's in good hands. Yeah. And you assume they're going to, it depends if they change the animation style again, because kind of like Clone Wars, Rebels, and Resistance style. Whether or not they'll kind of continue it with it being Clone Wars again, or they'll adapt it, which will be interesting.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Yeah, it's new.
It's a new Star Wars story, and it's a new Star Wars story in a period I really like. So there is like, there is definitely potential for it to cross over with Solo, even, which would be cool.
Yes.
There's potential for Maul to be involved.
Oh God, yeah.
Kind of like, we can finally see some of this Crimson Dawn thing that we've kind of got little hints at and stuff like that. So yeah, I think it's got, again, with anything, you kind of like, with any Star Wars stuff, there's very few things I'm ever dubious about. And if I am ever dubious, it turns out that I'm wrong. Or I'm not wrong, like Resistance. I didn't like Resistance in the end. I thought it was a little bit of nothing. But I moved on to the next thing, and that was it. So
yeah. Well, I guess if you, and this is a question for everyone in the chat room as well. Oh, hold on.
Oh my God, we're hunks.
Hold on.
Been called a hunk
thank you. Black Ops team making the most sinister missions. Is grade A. Yeah, I mean that is definitely an upside to the show. Like they're going to have some really cool stuff that they're going to get to do.
Yeah,
absolutely, and not with the same structure, I guess, as like having a traditional commander and leader and an army and a squad and all that sort of stuff. That's been played out. We know how that all works.
Yes. But it'll sort of fall into a weird thing because you've got like obviously Rebels where you've got the Ghost crew who are sort of doing missions for the Rebellion but sort of doing their own thing, and then Clone Wars is, like you say, very much more traditional, like but if this is like they break away from the Empire to do their own thing, or they're being hunted down, or maybe it starts with them having to hunt down the Jedi and they sort of have a change of heart or something.
Yep.
It's got potential.
I'm curious about that. Yeah, like you know how like all the clones, so the clones all got their order through commanders. So like
yes.
Generals or commanders or whatever got their holographic thing. That was always my interpretation of it. So they got the command, and then the commander just said to the other clones, said, "Hey, Order 66 is going." Or did everyone get it at the same time, and we just got this little vision of it?
Like it was in their helmets or in their brains.
So I'm not 100%. Maybe someone can answer that, but
because otherwise, like when you've got hundreds of clones in one thing, they all just go operate Order 66. It's just like dead loud.
Yeah, it would be way too loud. The feedback
dude. Yeah,
there'd be no surprise. But so the thing about the Bad Batches, I think they are detached from that system. Like from the way I understood it, is they just go off and they're doing their thing, and they're not really part of the whole. Like they're not part of the HoloNet, I guess, as such. They're not sort of linked in with everyone else, and like even Rex has to get in touch with them through like his channels. So do they even know about Order 66? Do they? And what happens when they find out about it? Have they got the programming still? There's a lot of interesting stuff that can be explored there.
Well, yeah, because you've got, say you remove that, say it's basically the first episode is them, like they don't have a chip, Echo doesn't have a chip, they just see everything going off and they're like, this is no good, and they make a run for it or something.
Yeah.
But then you have a bit more of a kind of Dirty Dozen, Inglorious Bastards type thing where they are just like a little platoon doing their own thing, or I think it's very open to some really weird ideas of like guerrilla war, or I think the A-Team is probably the one that always keeps coming back to me, of just like this idea of they're on the run from the authorities, but they are the good guys, so they try and help people in need.
They have to stop. They're compelled to, I guess.
Yes, and that's it. Or maybe they're not, but Echo is, and Echo persuades them that actually the fight is still going on. It'll be interesting. Well, okay, so scratch them. What else could there be? If you said, okay, well, there's no other spin-offs coming up, what would you pick? And for the people in the chat room, tell us what sort of Star Wars properties would you like to see spun off into their own thing? Well, I think we're going to see. So Mando 2 obviously comes out soon, and that's going to have
October.
Yes.
I think.
So I think we're going to see. So obviously, if Ahsoka and oh my god, I've forgotten her name. Who's Starbuck?
Katie Sackhoff's character. Shit.
We're going to find out how they lost the Darksaber, essentially.
Yeah.
So that's like a bit of a Mando thing. And obviously there is that the potential that will be a backdoor pilot for Ahsoka live action.
Yeah.
You know, and there has been talk. I know Bob Iger, like at the conference call, said, you know, we're looking at how we can start spinning characters off from the Mandalorian to create a bit of a TV universe, which would be great. Like they've got a sort of animated universe, and that Enfys Nest. Give me an Enfys Nest show.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Oh. And
Jason Sindula.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you for Cash and Jason Sindula.
Thank you. Absolutely.
I mean, you could where could you put Jason Sindula? You could put a TV show just before Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Or after. I mean, I would love to see what did I was thinking the other day of like a spin-off from the books. I want to see like what Nora Wexley and Wedge do post Rise of Skywalker, dealing with Snap being dead and stuff like that. And it's very niche and very specific. But like, what do the like old rebels do after Rise of Skywalker?
Yeah. That would be cool. That would be really cool. Hold on, I'm just trying to find out what, because it's bugging me now. Katie Sackhoff. Why can't I remember the name of the character? Bo-Katan. Oh my fucking god!
Oh yeah,
it's right there. Bo-Katan.
Yes. Solo 2 is happening, says Michael. Is this happening, or did the dude just say it's not out of the question?
Yeah, and he said that he would do it. He said that he would absolutely do it. There just needs to be the right script, I think.
Yes, we shall see. I'd love that. Give me that.
Stormtrooper show.
Yeah, definitely some sort of... depends when you'd set it. Would you set it during the originals, in between? Stormtroopers escaping after the end of the Empire?
Yeah, something that's Empire focused would be really cool, because that was one of my favorite things as a kid, was to play TIE Fighter. Finally get to play as an Imperial, and sort of go through all those motions and whatnot, and think about the impact that your actions have. They were doing that all the way back then. So yeah, I think that could be really good in a TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Post-Tross, I don't think that they're going to do that much post-Tross content for years. They tend to always have this big gap and delay. So like we'll be working in this time period, and maybe just sort of around the Force Awakens for a bit, and then I think it will eventually. So maybe in like 10 years' time, they might start doing stuff there. Maybe
they want to do another trilogy.
Yeah.
I'd like to see something bit too real, bit too much. I got the Phasma book. I've never read it. I gotta start reading my Star Wars books. I'm just collecting them now.
The Phasma book was supposed to be really good. I never got around to reading it, and then obviously The Last Jedi happened and killed her off, and so I was like, maybe I won't bother. One day. But apparently it's really good.
Yeah, the Phasma comic book is great. Like that is it's straight after Force Awakens, and there's like an Imperial officer or a First Order officer who's got proof that she shut down the shields, and she chases him across the galaxy to kill him, and it's good.
Yes.
What was I going to say? I would, exactly. I'd like to see something Anakin's training between Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones. Like him going through the trials and that kind of thing. I after listening to Jedi Lost, there's so much potential for them to do like a Harry Potter Jedi thing. And that's what Jedi Lost sort of is. Like the first part of it is Dooku and Sifo Dyas at Jedi school. And there's like, and there's like a Malfoy-esque character and stuff like that. And obviously the teachers are all like Yoda and all that. Yeah. And it's actually, I think I tweeted about that when I was still on Twitter, and the author liked the tweet. So la-di-da. But I think that would be cool. I think that would be as an animated show, like Anakin in the Jedi Academy.
What Steve's bringing up here, that I think is probably way up the list. Up the list. Dr. Aphra.
Audible, aren't they? They're doing a like
audio
Jedi
drama.
They're doing an audio drama with Dr. Aphra, and I think it's the comic book is obviously blown up because actually she was a spin-off. She appeared in the Darth Vader comic and spun off into her own series, which has been massive. And she fits into a very interesting period though, because she's post New Hope, I think is her main. So oh no, I'm completely wrong. It's post New Hope, and then the new volume of the comic book is post Empire or in Empire. And yeah, she's totally blown up and everyone really likes her. And I think this might be the slow process of like, okay, we've got the comic book, let's see what it's like. Let's see what the audiobook does. Maybe we'll see what a novel does, and just kind of build and build until they do it. Because I think Disney has got quite gun shy, because I think they were just like, everyone loves Han Solo, everyone will go see that movie, and then released it on the same fucking weekend as Infinity War and Deadpool 2 and got their asses handed to them. So I think they are very, very, let's just ease this in.
It kind of does make me wish that there was more stuff already in the works that was kind of ready to come out around now. Like, I mean, streaming stuff while you're in lockdown is like, it's kind of keeping most people sane, I think. And certainly we're watching some shit at home. Oh, you're starting The Sopranos. Nice.
Well, I'm catching up from where I tried to watch it twice and got the first time I watched it in real time and went to university and I didn't have a TV, and that was that. Yeah. The second time I watched it, Fiona didn't like it. So she got bored of it in the third season, and so we packed it in. And now I've got binge. I've got the streaming service, so I started watching it, and I'm just going through the fourth season, and I am just like, oh, this is so good.
Yeah,
so good. Oh, James Gandolfini, man, so good. R.I.P. to the king. God, so good. But yeah, like, it would be cool to have new content somewhere, because even like, you know, that Mandalorian Galaxy thing that kept me going for a bit.
Yeah, I was really sad when that ended.
Gallery.
Gallery. Yeah,
but it would be cool to have some sort of thing going.
Yeah,
and yeah, that's totally right. That's
what Danny's saying is absolutely right. It's
Dr. Aphra, Enfys Nest, Ahsoka. There's tons of characters.
Yeah, tons of characters that people really, really dig, and it was probably the biggest reaction. That was probably the one biggest takeaway I got from the bulk of the reactions on Twitter, which I know, of course, isn't indicative of everything in fandom and whatnot, but people were sort of like hyped for it, really jazzed for the Bad Batch. But most of the negative that I saw was like, yeah, cool. It wasn't even like outright negative. It was just like, yeah, cool, but this doesn't appeal to me in any way. This just appeals to boys.
It is that, yeah. It's definitely sort of, if you had to kind of black and white binary it, it's like, yeah, this is what you would describe as a boys show. If you were getting like a McDonald's Happy Meal, this would be the boys' toy. You know, it'd be the Bad Batch figures that you'd get. Like, and yeah, that's very true. Like you said, because the thing it reminds us of is the stuff that we watched when we were kids, while our sisters and cousins and whoever watched, fuck knows, Barbies. Yeah. Sorry, this is very. I might be making a dick of myself here, but this is a sort of on a very broad level. Yeah.
Well, because, on a toy level, it's
on a toy level. Yeah.
It's your Tonka trucks versus your Barbies.
Yeah. Basically. If you went to Toys R Us, I would go to the right thing where it's all the guns and fucking dinosaurs and shit, rather than go to the left where it was all pink. Yeah.
Yeah,
which
so
it's
I agree.
fascinating. I've with my nieces and nephews, with my nieces, they've all now got little brothers, and so now they're getting loads of really cool toys. Like all the toys before that were shit. They were just like plastic shit and like kitchens and just rubbish. And then now they've got brothers. Suddenly you go there and they've got all these cool train sets and trucks and monster trucks and stuff like that. And you're like, oh, come on, man. And they're playing with them as well. So it's not like they don't want them and they're just for the boys. I'm obviously not saying anything revolutionary here. I'm not like, guys, toys can be for everyone. I've broken your minds with this. But it's quite cool because now I can go and play on these vast train sets and stuff like that, and the girls are mad for it. Whereas we used to go and it'd be like, I'll be the mum and you be the baby. And ugh.
Yeah.
Actually, there's with Fiona, she was like, I don't want to play babies again. This is ridiculous. And the girls were like, no, one more time. Let's play babies. And Fiona's like, fine. So Fiona's lying on the floor, and then this goes on and on and on and on. And then Fiona's like, oh, I'm bored of this. I'm going. Let's play something else. And my niece was like, babies can't talk. Just shove a dummy in his mouth. Like, oh, this is getting wild. I gotta get out of here.
Oh, that's good. That's cold. Oh, it's absolutely cold. Oh God. Oh God. What's going on here? The Solo 2 thing. Okay, so heard some unrelated things that you think are related. Well, please feel free to share what you think they are.
And also, Doomcock sources are Doomcock.
Yeah, he is his own source. Yeah, like that's not a source. I feel kind of gross even saying the name.
It is a tough choice, isn't it? It's like when people, when they do, they make a stupid email address when they're a kid, and then they kind of use it on a job, a CV. My friend used to have that, so he'd be like, his nickname was Didge, and he was like, I was helping him do a job application when we were like 18, and I was like, okay, what's your email address? And he was like, it's Didge69lover. at netscape.com. I'm like, okay, we're gonna have to make you a new email address. That's no good.
I've got that problem with my first App Store account. So when I set up the App Store for the first time, I set it up using, at the time, it was an @mac.com address. So which is now iCloud. Like I was going to say, yeah, they transitioned it. First it was @Mac, then it was @me, then it was iCloud, and that's where they've settled. So I've got an old @Mac, and the weird thing that they put in is that you can't change the primary address, so you can add related addresses. If I'd set it up with a Gmail account at the time, I could change it infinitely. But because I created it with this old @Mac, it can't be changed. So I can just add related email contact addresses, but that original email address is still the primary. It's the thing I have to sign in on all of my devices still today. It's the thing that goes on all of the receipts for taxable, like tax stuff that I forward to say, yeah, I bought this software. It's a work expense. Claim it. And it's fucking embarrassing. I'm not going to say it, obviously, but the email address. It's on every single one of these things. I'm just like, oh God.
Right. God, I just have Sean Fallon 01. I've had it since 2001.
Yeah,
still using the same email address. But yeah, Doomcock. Let's not talk about Doomcock. Someone did mention Cassian, which obviously will be very cool when that finally comes out. And like having Cassian and Obi-Wan in the mix it's going to be cool when they start releasing like. Well, I feel as though going by Mandalorian, once these things kick off, they get done quick. Yeah, because of the volume.
Yeah, post is a lot faster.
Post is faster, and production is faster because it is just like, oh, hello, Charlie.
Hey, Charlie, came in right at the end.
It's sort of like, okay, we don't have to, like, locations are sorted, budgets are quite low. Just get the actors in one room and do it. So I think once they sort of kick off, it gets done really quickly. It's just sort of getting to that point. Because I mean, Mando 2 was pretty much like, I feel like they said, oh, we're going to start filming it. And then like 2 days later, they were like, done.
Yeah. Well, it's not far away now. So
No.
yeah, what we're at, July, August. Yeah, 3 months it'll be out. 3 months. And yeah, it did seem like that, didn't it? They announced it's like, yeah, Mandalorian season 2. And then it felt kind of like 2 weeks later. And I was like, yeah, so I've wrapped all of my shooting for for minutes. It was like, what?
Which is wild because, like, you know, Game of Thrones was getting to the point where it's taking like 2 years to come out because of all the location stuff and the post production and all that. So to have a thing where, because see, Mando 1, there's planets, there's spaceships, there's all kinds of shit. So it's great. I love it. I love the volume. It blows my mind. The volume. The volume is simply
it will fundamentally change the way television's made. Game of Thrones was the first thing that I thought of when they did the full reveal of how it works. I was like, oh my God, imagine how much money HBO could have saved if they had that.
Yeah.
Like how much money they were spending on that show.
And they could have had enough money to hire writers.
Anyway, God, yeah.
Yes, thank you, Charlie. Kenobi sad times. No, I mean, I was actually thinking it would be very interesting if they did a real bait and switch and they put Hayden Christensen in it, but he was like the voice of a droid, or they had an alien who was played by him and just sort of he was in it. He was getting paid for it, but it wasn't him. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. No, that would be really funny. That would be really funny if all the stories are true. There's leaked shots of Hayden Christensen running around like getting in shape in the town, for filming and all that, and then he's playing some like big foam blob or something.
Yeah.
That'd be great. All right. Well, mate, we've been going for an hour, so I think it's. Shall we wrap it up?
I believe so. I definitely, going back to what we were saying at the start. If in the comments, if you have any ideas for what you think we should do for Force Fest, or more things that you'd like to see in terms of less really me and him, but more kind of like Star Wars conversations that you would like to see had. And we'd be happy to kind of hear those things and see what we can do with it. Then tweet at us or Facebook us or whatever. Because we'd be intrigued. We'd be intrigued to see what the people want. Because I know what we want, and it's probably the same thing we always do. So I'm intrigued to see what other people want. No, we do want a Mon Mothma movie. Yeah, that'd be great. Yep. Metallica doing the soundtrack. I don't know. Is that a deep cut? That might be a deep cut. Our friend Josh has a t-shirt that does that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, cool. Thanks everyone. Thanks to everyone that threw us super chats. That was really cool. Like it's our first live chat with super chats. We've never seen them. We didn't even know how it was going to work in our streaming platform, whether we would get properly alerted or whether we'd have to have YouTube off to the side and whatnot. But it was very smooth. Very, very smooth. But so thank you everyone. It's been fun, and we've loved chatting with you. And Sean, do you want to take us out? Yes. So sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. So come follow us on Facebook. I think Charlie is the only person who's been commenting from Facebook. Everyone else is on YouTube. But if you see us on Facebook, come and give us a like or follow, like and a follow, and go sub on YouTube. Tweet me. Excellent. Yep. Tweet me. Yes, obviously jump on our Patreon. We're trying to do more sort of exclusive Patreon stuff. So we did do a Q&A the other week, which I think was really cool. And so we're trying to do more sort of exclusive content. Maybe even like early releases, things like that. Yeah. And check out our killer merch. We are... I'm clawing the walls trying to think of a really cool t-shirt, because every time I think of something, I suddenly realize like the amount of work it would be to actually do it is more tin my brain can handle at the moment during lockdown. Well, I've got Monkey who did our very, very cool logo up in the top corner there. So he's got something that he's working on that's themed. It's themed in line with the intro music for Matt Talks About Things. So that was originally, I asked him, can you do this? And I was going to use it as part of the intro graphic, which maybe still could.
but yeah, so I asked him to do that because I thought it would make a really cool T-shirt. So yeah, he's slowly working on that. Oh, and that reminds me. So we agreed to doing some live streams that are basically watch-along commentaries.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. So I should point that out. We threw the poll up in our Facebook group. So go find us on Facebook. You'll see an attached group there. So yeah, we threw the comment out there to see which ones we were going to actually watch. And I think the top result was Rogue One. So we're going to do a watch along commentary to Rogue One. We're going to do a watch along commentary to The Last Jedi. So they were the top two. We basically said we'll take the top 2 votes and then a wild card. Doesn't matter how many people voted for it. And so yeah, we're going to do Ewoks Caravan of Courage as the third one as well, which I don't think I've seen since I was primary school aged.
No, I remember nothing.
Yeah,
so it's gonna be brand new. Yeah. And yes, I became an Australian citizen this week.
Oh, good. You can.
I had my ceremony.
This means you can vote now.
I can vote, and I can get cheaper university.
Medicare.
I think I was already getting Medicare.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's the very thing. I got a new passport. My European my like EU passport is useless now. So
yeah, we can't go anywhere, can you? Yeah.
But yeah,
sorry. Yeah, Charlie's got a good
took
idea.
3 minutes. Nude calendar. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, can do. You just want to see me in the mullet. That's what you want to see. Yeah. All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll head off now, and we'll see you next week. And thanks again for dealing with the rescheduling. That was.
Yes, thank you for that.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate. Australian internet sometimes sucks.
Yes.
But yeah, all right. Let's get rid of that banner. Where is that banner comment? Oh, go away. See ya.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for stopping by.
Always.